We need to talk about this because this isn't just a normal cancellation. This is Kanye West, Ye, being banned from an entire country, and the fallout has been massive. Because of that decision, a major European festival has now been completely wiped out, canceled entirely, leaving fans shocked and frustrated. What was supposed to be one of the biggest live events in Europe is now gone in an instant, and the reaction online has been intense, with people expressing anger, disbelief, and non-stop discussion about how things escalated this far.
So Wireless has just been officially cancelled because Kanye West is not allowed in the UK. That is mad. You guys got all excited booking your Wireless tickets saying, yeah, Wireless is going to be lit. Kanye West headlining. What now? What now? Now you're on the Wireless website trying to get a refund to blood clot. You're too fast. Yeah, man, you're too fast about Wireless this, Wireless that. You better turn on your Wireless speaker and play Kanye West. How about that? It's actually crazy to think that he's not allowed in the UK, you know. That is mental.
So here's what's happening with Wireless Festival in London, one of the biggest music events in Europe. This year, organizers went all out and booked Kanye West, Ye, as the headliner, not just for one night, but all 3 nights, basically turning it into a full Kanye residency. But then things fell apart when reports came out that the UK government denied him entry into the country, effectively blocking him from performing. As soon as that decision hit, everything started collapsing like dominoes, and the festival plans were thrown into chaos. Many people say this ties back to Kanye's recent years of controversy, including anti-Semitic comments and provocative statements, which led to governments taking action and refusing to allow him entry due to concerns over his public behavior and rhetoric.
I feel really blessed to be able to sit here with you today and just take accountability. I was dealing with some various issues, dealing with bipolar also. So it would take the ideas I had and have me take them to an extreme where I would forget about the protection of the people around me and myself. So I wanted to come and take accountability. Sometimes people aren't that knowledgeable about the bipolar and the cause or what causes it and the way you act when you have this disease.
I'm talking, you are very with me. Amen.
Hey yo, we gotta talk about this because this ain't just a regular cancellation. This is Kanye West getting effectively blocked from entering a whole country, and because of that, an entire festival just collapsed. I'm talking about Wireless Festival in London. Major event every year, biggest artists, big money, huge crowd. This year they went all in and booked Kanye as the headliner for all 3 nights. Not 1 night, not 2 nights, 3 nights straight. That's not a lineup, that's a full-on Kanye residency. But then the situation flipped fast when the UK authorities stepped in and reportedly denied him entry into the United Kingdom. And once that happened, everything started falling apart like dominoes. The festival couldn't just replace Kanye on short notice. Who are you gonna bring in? Drake 3 times? Future 3 times? So instead of risking a major flop, they pulled the plug entirely, canceled the whole thing, and now you've got chaos. Fans mad, tickets already sold, flights booked, hotels reserved, and suddenly it's refunds and apologies everywhere. Because this isn't just about music, it's about money burning. Reports were saying Kanye was set to make around $11 million just for those shows alone, and all of that just disappeared overnight.
Yes, it is true. Ye has done a lot of work, I imagine, to stay stable over the last several months and has put out at least a few apologies about the many statements and offensive music and a lot of stuff that he said over the past couple of years. He still did say and do all of that stuff, and people are still well within their right to be unhappy, especially since it hasn't even been a year out since he dropped HH. But really, for me at this point, it's not a matter of whether or not there should be accountability for what Ye has done and said. Absolutely there should. It's really more like when we're getting accountability and when we're not. Because honestly, it's kind of crazy that we're seeing an entire music festival just shuttered before we are seeing full investigations or a trial for any one of those named in, the recent you-know-what file.
But let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just about one headline or one artist. A festival like Wireless Festival isn't just ticket sales, it's an entire economy running behind the scenes. You've got sponsors putting in huge brand money, vendors relying on foot traffic, food trucks making their biggest yearly income, plus travel, hotels, and all the tourism spending that comes with it. When something this big collapses, we're not talking about a small loss. We're talking potentially tens of millions disappearing across the board. And here's the twist that makes it even worse. Some sponsors were already uncomfortable before anything was officially canceled. Brands don't like controversy tied to their name, especially when it involves someone as polarizing as Kanye West. So even before the UK entry issues fully escalated, the foundation was already shaky. Deals were getting questioned, pressure was building, and the perfect rollout was already starting to crack. So by the time the ban situation hit and the United Kingdom's stance became clear, the structure wasn't just interrupted, it was already halfway unstable. The cancellation didn't start the fire, it just finished it.
A wireless festival in the UK, and the sponsors such as liquor sponsors, Pepsi, aware that Ye was headlining, they signed off to approve it. But 2 days ago, they pulled out and withdrew their sponsorship of Wireless because they don't want to be associated with Ye. And multiple other sponsors pulled out: PayPal, Rockstar Energy. Wireless stood by Ye and mentioned that they'll carry on the festival with him as the headliner, despite all the sponsors pulling out, rather than getting a new headliner. And they spoke about the importance of giving people a second chance, the troubles of mental illness, and after that, UK decided to ban Ye from entering the country and stop it from happening. And Kanye made his own statement. He said, "My only goal is to come to London and present a show of change, bring unity, peace, love through my music. I know words aren't enough. I'll have to show my change through my actions. If you're open, I'm here."
One side is saying, good, actions have consequences. The other side is like, y'all really canceled an entire festival over this? And that's where the debate gets bigger than just music. Fans are basically divided between two mindsets. Some saying they don't care about politics, they just wanted to hear Kanye West perform live, while others are saying you can't separate the artist from the actions, especially when it affects international reputation and public platforms. And for Kanye, this situation hits a different level. This isn't just brands dropping him anymore. This is actual countries restricting entry. That changes everything. It affects tours, festivals like Wireless Festival, and the entire global earning potential that comes with it. When doors start closing internationally in places like the United Kingdom, it's no longer just a cancel culture conversation. It becomes a logistics and business problem. Now, the sponsor conversation is where it gets interesting, because when sponsors say they're pulling out, people assume money is instantly gone, but that's not always how it works. In many cases, contracts are already signed, money is already committed, and what changes is branding, not necessarily the entire financial structure. So a lot of the time, brands aren't fully exiting, they're just removing their name to protect their image, while still being financially tied in behind the scenes. So what you end up with is a messy situation. Kanye banned, a major festival canceled, millions affected across the ecosystem, and the culture still arguing over whether it was justified or an overreaction.